Assalamu alaikum. Okay, grade 10s, we're going to do measuring temperature today, which is a very easy section for you to go through. Temperature is the definition of temperature is the measurement of how hot or how cold a substance is or an object is, right? So the basic units of temperature, we have the basic unit of measurement, which most commonly used in South Africa is the degrees Celsius, right? So when you put your oven on, you can see your oven is in degrees Celsius, or if you're looking at reading a recipe, you'll see it's in degrees Celsius. If you look at the weather on the TV in South Africa, you will find degrees Celsius. The degrees Fahrenheit is the other unit measurement used to measure temperature and is more commonly used in USA. Okay, so to estimate the conversion between the two Celsius is about 1/3 of a Fahrenheit reading. So when we're estimating temperature, if your Fahrenheit reading is about 30 degrees, your Celsius will be about 10 degrees, which means it will be 1/3 of the Fahrenheit reading, right? Examples of when estimating temperature is adequate, estimating the sea or pool temperature when deciding whether or not to swim. So you know when you go to the sea, and you can feel the water, you touch the water to see how hot or cold it is, or in the swimming pool, and then you decide whether you're going to jump in or not, right? And when you're estimating the temperature of food or hot drink in order to drink it without burning your mouth, so that's logical when you have a cup of coffee and you can feel the cup and you can see the steam coming out, and you can estimate whether the temperature is too hot, or whether you can drink it without burning, right? Then you're estimating the daytime temperature to know what to wear. Example, if you need a jersey. So in the morning when you get up, you can actually feel the weather and see and decide what you're going to wear for the day. Okay, then we have instruments used to measure temperature, and you have to be familiar with this, right? So a digital thermometer for taking the temperature of a person, right? So there's your digital thermometer there. This has become a very common thing now with the COVID. Everybody's testing their temperature. So you put it under your arm or under your tongue and you test your temperature. So it's called a digital thermometer. Then we have another digital thermometer for measuring the temperature of food. Can you see the digital thermometer there? So what you do is you take the thermometer and you push it into the food and you can measure the temperature of the food, right? So if you watch one of those cooking programs when they want to when you go to Spur or somewhere and you want to tell them what kind of a steak you want, if you want it rare or medium or well done, then they have a way of telling. They poke it into the steak and then it tells them the temperature that it's reached and what kind of steak you're going to have, right? Then you get a mercury thermometer. A mercury thermometer is for taking the temperature of a person as well, right? That one is a digital one. This one has mercury in it, like it has actual mercury in it and it measures the temperature, or for measuring the air temperature, right? So it can measure air temperature or the temperature of a person. Then we have infrared thermometers for measuring the temperature of the surface of an object. You will see these things around by the shopping centers now, where they do it as a precaution to test your temperature. So it has an infrared. You'll see it. They don't have to touch it onto you like how those ones touch onto you. So for safety, they use the infrared thermometer. So let's go through these examples. Round off the temperature measured by the digital thermometer below. 36.8 degrees Celsius, we would round it off to 37 degrees. Read off the temperature recorded by the mercury thermometer below. So you have to look at the mercury thermometer and you have to go, and you can see there it's giving you 35, and then here you have there's 35, there's 36. So we have to read where this point is here, and you can see that it's 35.8 degrees Celsius, right? So then when they give you a picture, you know how to read it off. Okay, then we're moving on to the section here where it says setting, monitoring, and interpreting temperature. The temperature may be set using dials or household appliances. For example, a refrigerator, a heater, an oven, or an air conditioner. So then they have a dial on it. So you know when you have a heater and you can turn the dial on the temperature and you can choose how hot you want to put your heater on. So that's called a temperature dial, right? It is often very important to monitor the temperature in order to prevent over or underheating. Example, the temperature of a car's engine is monitored and displayed by a temperature gauge inside your car. So if your car is going to overheat, it's going to tell you inside, right? Weather forecast maps give predictions regarding the daily, weekly, minimum and maximum temperatures. Okay, so that's called a weather forecast. They measure the temperatures. They need to be interpreted based on the context provided. For example, the weather predicts it's going to be 18 degrees Celsius. Therefore, my clothes will not dry quickly if I hang them on the washing line outside. 18 degrees Celsius is telling me that it's going to be cold, right? So, easy way of doing this is just try to watch the weather tonight and look at the degrees Celsius and how to interpret the weather, okay? So, interesting facts, 100 degrees, very important, is the boiling point of water, right? 0 degrees is the freezing point of water. A healthy body temperature is plus minus 37 degrees Celsius. We all need to know that now, right? Because we need to know, we need to check our temperatures. And once we have a high temperature with COVID around, we need to know that we have to monitor ourselves and phone our doctor and let him know and see whether you're developing a cough, etc. So a healthy temperature is plus minus 37 degrees. If you're in the range of 36, 38, 37, then you know you're okay, inshallah. The coldest temperature recorded in the Arctic was negative 89.2 degrees Celsius. Okay, liquid nitrogen, a very useful substance used in labs and hospitals to freeze things, becomes a liquid at negative 196 degrees Celsius. So just some interesting facts, right? Depending on the composition of glass, it can melt anywhere between 600 degrees and 2300 degrees Celsius. So if they want to melt the glass and shape the glass, they need very high degrees of temperature, right? Okay, then we're going to go through a few of these examples here. Easy ones. A temperature thermometer reads 60 degrees Fahrenheit. If degrees Celsius is about 1/3 of the Fahrenheit reading, determine the approximate temperature in degrees Celsius. So what you have to do is, you've got 60 for Fahrenheit and you're going to divide it by 3. So your degrees in Celsius will be approximately 20 degrees Celsius. So you're saying 1/3 of the Fahrenheit degree. At what temperature in degrees Fahrenheit was the oven set below? Okay, so now we need to look at, this is your oven dial. Can you see there we've gone 200, 250, 300, 350, and between 350 and 400, right? So my dial is going, actually it's moving 50 degrees, so there's a 25 degree line in between there. So I've got 375 degrees in Celsius, right? So to get to Fahrenheit, I would multiply it by 3 and I would say 1125 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so what temperature in Fahrenheit is it set below? So then Fahrenheit would be 3 times the amount of the Celsius, right? Okay, we're moving on to the next example. The following mercury thermometer was placed in a water bath. Read the temperature of the water bath. Okay, so now we need to look at this one here and see. Now we're looking at the temperature. You can see this is a mercury thermometer, right? So there's the mercury. So that one is telling us that this is, the higher numbers are normally the degrees Celsius, right? So this is 30 degrees Celsius. That's 40 degrees. So obviously this becomes 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, right? So I'm going 35, 36, 37, 38 degrees. So my water there is about 38 degrees Celsius. Okay, if the water of the bath must be 67 degrees Celsius, by how much must the water be cooled or heated? So we are at 38 degrees and we want to get to 67 degrees. So we'll say 67 minus 38. So we need to heat the water by 29 degrees Celsius, right? Okay, so the following weekly weather was forecasted as shown below. We've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we've got minimum in degrees Celsius and maximum in degrees Celsius. This is obviously a South African weather chart. And you'll see Monday it's showing you a picture of clouds and rain. And we can look at the minimum temperature means what will be the lowest temperature for Monday will be 12. And what will be the highest temperature that we will experience on Monday is 18. So what is the minimum temperature predicted for Tuesday? Okay, so we go to Tuesday, it's 14 degrees. And what is the minimum temperature predicted for the week? So if we're looking at the whole week, what is the lowest temperature for the week? It would be 12, right, on Monday, right? What is the maximum temperature predicted for Friday? So if we look at Friday, our maximum temperature is 24 degrees Celsius. But what is the maximum temperature predicted for the week? So which one is the highest for the week? Would be Sunday. You can see it's sunny and it's 25 degrees Celsius. Would it be a good idea to go for a long day hike on Saturday? And give reasons for your answer. What would you say? I would say yes, it's lovely weather, it's sunny, and we're not going to get too cold, and it's not raining, it's not cloudy, so it's a good reason why you should go for the temperatures are showing you that you can go for a hike. Okay, so temperature is very easy. There's 2 exercises for homework, and whatever we've done in these notes, I'm going to put a picture of the notes for you, and you can watch the video and go through everything. Jazakallah.